Hello, this is Mrs. Reister with lesson 4.1. For example 1, we are going to work on how do we find a unit rate given a situation. For part A, we have 10 gallons cost $25. So for this situation, we have two unit rates we could find. We could find the cost per gallons or per gallon or the gallons per dollar. And one of which makes more sense from a practical standpoint, which would be the cost per gallon. So to start with, I'm going to write out in word form the unit rate that I wish to find. Cost per gallon, and I'm going to abbreviate gallon. Now, understanding that this word here, per, implies division, in word form, this represents the mathematical problem I need to use to find the cost per gallon. So now I'm going to substitute my information. My cost is $25, and my gallons are 10. So I'm going to divide by 10. So 25 divided by 10 is 2.5. And what I found was that unit rate in word form up above, cost per gallon. So it costs $2.50 per, per gallon. Let's do one more. For part B, we have 40 hours in 5 days. So again, we've really got two unit rates that we could find here, one of which is more practical. We could find the hours per day or the days per hour. Hours per day is more practical because we wouldn't want to speak about a day when it's not a full day. We wouldn't want to speak, or we wouldn't want to use a fraction to talk about a day. We want to know how many hours are in a day. So we are going to write out our unit rate in word form, hours per day. And now I'm going to substitute my information. So I've got 40 for the hours. Remember that per implies division. And days is 5. So 40 divided by 5 is 8. And what did we find? Hours per day. So our label is hours per day. And now this slash here represents per when we're writing out our label. Now for part C, we have $2 for 0.25 pounds. So just a fraction of a pound costs $2. So we've got our two unit rates, cost per pound or pounds per dollar. And most often when you go to the grocery store, you typically buy things by the pound. So we're going to figure out the cost per pound. What is the cost for 1 pound? So cost per pound, writing that out in word form again. And now I'm going to substitute the cost, which is $2. Per implies division, and we've got 0.25. So we've got 2 divided by 0.25, which is really like taking 2 times 4, which is 8. So for our unit rate, we found $8 per pound. And our last one, we've got 5 meters per a half a sec. So 5 meters in a half a second, which would actually be 30 milliseconds, but we're not going to go that far. So let's again start with the unit rate that we want to find, which would be meters per second or seconds per meter. In this case, it's already kind of listed for us, meters per second, but we're going to find out if we know that it's 5 meters per half a second, we're going to figure out how many meters in 1 second. This might be one of those that you can just think about and conclude your answer here without doing any math, but nevertheless, we're going to follow the same process, writing it out in word form and then substituting our information. So we've got 5 for the number of meters divided by the number of seconds, which is 1/2. So 5 divided by 1/2, which is the equivalent of 5 times 2, so 10. And again, our label here is meters per second.